Okay. Make sure it can see me. Sorry. And it doesn't even see you, Jocelyn.
Good.
Okay. Oh, so I have these handouts that are for you guys, along with some pens if you feel like you want to take some notes. I'm just going to do one per couple.
You're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And a pen.
Thank you.
Just if you feel like you want to take notes. These are the handouts that are approved by Melissa.
I have,
So
and
it's-
thank you.
Okay. Put two more out here. Okay. So, yeah.
Can I have one of those as well, please? Just for me.
You're like, I want one of everything.
I'm like, yes, thank you.
Sorry. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Victoria. I am a student midwife. I work with Melissa, and I go to school at Midwives College of Utah. I have been a birth worker officially for 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. And I have attended almost 50 births now. I have 6 children of my own, all born at home, so all med-free. So I have a lot of experience that I hope that I can provide for you. How did I get into midwifery? So I grew up my whole life with everyone in my family having their babies in the hospital. My sisters had epidurals. Some of them had their babies induced. You know, the whole spiel that you hear about hospital births. And so I was like, you know what? I think that's where I'm going to have my babies. And then it was a month after I got married. One of my other sisters had decided with her firstborn that she was going to have her baby at home, and she invited me into that sacred space, and I got to witness my first birth. And it was in a home setting, and I loved it, and I said, that's what I want to do, and I went with the same midwife. So let's see, it was about a year and a half later is when I had my first baby, and I had heard all of the stories about, oh, this is going to be so horrible for you, and your back's going to kill you, and you're just going to die, and are you sure you want to go without the medications, and are you sure that you want to be out of the hospital? That's so scary to do. And so I told everyone and myself, I can do it. I'm going to have my baby at home, and it's going to be lovely. And it was. My first baby was the textbook labor. I woke up at 8 a.m. and I was like, I think I kind of feel stuff. I'm not sure. So I started cleaning my house, and by 12 o'clock, then I'm like, you know what? These seem pretty consistent. So I sat down and timed them, and they were 5 minutes apart. And I was able to talk and communicate with everyone between them. And I went to my midwife, and she's like, yeah, you're at a 4. And I'm like, ooh, sounds good. So I went walking, and, you know, as it went on, then it was a 12-hour labor. You know, I did the typical, they say 1 centimeter for every hour. And then for first-time moms, you may or may not push for 2 hours. But that's how it was for me. I was pushing my baby for 2 hours, because you go forward 1 or you go forward 2 and back 1. It's just it can be a slow process. But, you know, I had the birth that I had envisioned, and I know that each of you guys can have a calm, relaxing, unless you don't want to come and relax. You know, you can have whatever kind of birth that you want. Sorry, I have notes about what all I wanted to talk about. Hi, welcome. So now you've heard about me, and it may or may not have been entertaining. I try to be funny, but sometimes I'm not. So I'd actually like to hear more about each of you guys first. If you could introduce yourself, along with maybe about how far along you are in your pregnancy. If you're having a boy or girl, or if it's a surprise, let us know it's a surprise. Your thoughts about how labor will go for you, if you have any concerns, or if you're just super excited and just open to whatever. We want to know how you feel about it. And I'd like to know something unique about yourself outside of being pregnant, because that's pretty unique and exciting for everyone. So I just want to hear something unique about you. So should we start with you?
Okay. Might as well.
Okay.
Well, my name is Monica, and I'm 40 weeks and 5 days pregnant. I'm ready to have this kid. I don't know. That's probably like the most unique thing about me. I'm just ready to have a kid. Yeah. I had 2 other kids, hospital births, and I decided to try a midwife this time because those births weren't what I expected or what I envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a lot of people did tell me that, exactly what they told you. Okay, you're crazy. There are going to be so many complications. Are you sure you want to have like a midwife? And I've heard so many things about midwives and like so many like bad things. And I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Like I've tried hospitals, I've tried doctors, I've tried epidurals, I've tried everything. So I just want, a really calm and relaxing birth where I can get to know who's going to be there and that I'm in charge. And not the doctors telling me, okay, you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, my body knows what's best. And for doctors to be telling me, like, how I'm supposed to feel, what positions I'm supposed to be in, or what am I supposed to be doing, that's just going against my nature, as a woman. And so, yes, I decided to just go ahead and try it with a midwife. And I'm having a boy. And I'm super happy and excited that I took this big decision, because it's not easy when the majority of people telling you that, I'm sorry, I'm emotional.
That's alright, we all are.
I'm sorry. They already know me, I cry a lot. Yeah, like that's a big part of my pregnancy. I cry a lot with this kid. But I know I'll be able to do this, and everything will be fine. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like everything will be fine. I know that my body was made for this, and it doesn't matter what people say, and that you cannot do it, or that there's going to be so many difficulties. I know we as women, we were prepared for this, and that everything will be fine. So I know everything will be fine for you too. I see it will be for me, and yes, this baby will come out eventually. Yeah, I know I cannot be pregnant forever. That's that's not. So if you guys ever go overdue, it's okay. Your baby will come out, or we'll make him come out. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe you could tell us about how you relate to her, just anything about you too. So
yes.
any support people, we'd like to hear from you too.
Well, my name is Alma, and I'm her sister. And I recently had a miscarriage, and she wanted me to be part of it.
Yeah, I wanted for her to be able to be part of this pregnancy, and I'll be part of her next pregnancy as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Jocelyn.
My name is Jocelyn, and I'm 35 weeks pregnant, and I'm having a boy. And I guess it's really good to hear your story, Victoria, about how you had the birth that you wanted, because I guess for me it's a little hard for me to get over like the hurdle of the birth that I had. My son's birth, he's 3.5 now, and everything just it just went a lot differently than I wished that it would have, and it was really tough. My water broke and then nothing happened, and so then I was induced, and I feel fortunate that, he was a healthy baby, but it was tough emotionally for me, just because I wasn't able to hold him for about 2.5 hours after birth, and so I'm really looking forward to a different way, hopefully, this time. And it's good to hear that it can be peaceful, because that's a little hard for me to wrap my mind around, honestly. So, yeah, I guess that's why I am here. And something interesting about me. I am a wildlife biologist. I really like wildlife, and I also really like to travel. So I'm already like dreaming up ways of how to get, you know, somewhere far away with my newborn during my maternity leave. I haven't told anyone this idea yet, because I know how crazy it sounds, but I have ideas stewing in my head.
Like just some exotic ladder, like up in the mountains in a cabin. I won't tell anyone, but you know, that sounds like so fun, just to go retreat. Just you, baby, and I mean whoever else you invite, but you know, just to get away from life.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
No, I think we got it.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ari.
I'm Ari, and this is my boyfriend Cody. This is our first baby, and we're having a boy. So there's a thing going on here. We're just really excited, and honestly, I just feel really fortunate. I have 4 older sisters who all have done like home births and stuff, so it's not very unusual at all, and we're just super excited. And yeah, so all 3 of my sisters come here. One just had her baby last month, and then another one's due in January, and then I'll be March, so it'll be nice. We'll all be back to back, but I'm not really doing much. Like, there's nothing really interesting. We like to be in nature and hike a lot. Of course, not right now, but yeah, it's probably about all.
Good.
Cody, I'm her boyfriend. Something interesting is really like to figure out how things work. I like to take things apart, figure out how they work, put them back together.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy mentality.
Okay, your turn.
I'm Kayla, and I'm like 34 weeks, and I'm really sorry for your loss. That's really hard to lose that. Our first baby, we had a miscarriage, and then exactly a week later, I got pregnant with my son, and then he was born exactly 39 weeks later. So this will be our second, with Melissa, which will be great. We are moving when I'll be 37 weeks, so hopefully the baby doesn't come before that. And I'm really excited to have a home birth again. And my first labor was really long and really difficult, and it was really hard. But at the end of it, like, you just like roll over in your own bed and you like go to sleep, and it's amazing and nice and perfect. So that is the saving grace. No matter how difficult labor is, you're in your own home, and that's like the best place to be. So I'm really excited for another baby, but it's also really nerve-wracking to have the 2. So we'll see how that goes. That's all I have to say.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing, you guys. That way I don't have to talk the whole time.
Are you having a boy or a girl? Do you know?
Boy.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
This is one of my sisters.
oh, boys.
And you have, and your child your older child.
He's with my
Oh,
husband.
he's also
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't take naps, so yeah, it's just so chaotic, and we're not really like, I don't know, I guess I'm like so set on moving. I'm just worried about moving. I'm not even thinking about like birth or labor, and so he's not either. We're just like, oh, we'll just wing it. It'll just happen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the more it seems like the more that you think about it, and you might like psych yourself out too much. Just
Definitely.
prepare for it the way that you want it to be. But like some people will be like, "Ugh, I'm still pregnant." Sorry, Monica.
It's okay.
And it's like just enjoy the time, because I can tell you honestly, it's so much easier to tend a baby when they're inside than it is when they're outside. They cry, and you're like, I'm not quite sure what you need. Let's try this. They're like, that's not what I need. Well, then what do you need? Inside, you don't hear all their crying. And, your body just knows what they need.
Yeah.
I mean, your body still knows what they need, but you're like, okay. Anyways, sorry. I talk a lot. So I did want to go over the things that you find in here, but I'm going to try to do it all from my notes. So the main topic of this class is about comfort measures, making your births calm and safe, and well, unless you don't want it calm, like I said, you can scream if you want. We don't. Your energy would be better used not screaming at us, but we're fine if you scream at us too. But finding things that can comfort you and make it easier on you. Some of the things are like acupressure. Have you guys heard about those? Mm-hmm. There's certain spots on your back and your shoulders and your hands and your feet and your legs that can relieve pressure in certain points and can make your cervix dilate and turn a posterior baby. It's amazing what acupressure can do, and adding, which is another thing, adding oils to the acupressure helps too. Making sure that you're eating. Moms that don't eat, I've seen that they give up sooner. They say, I can't do it a lot sooner than the moms that do eat. And that's another thing that happens in the hospital, is that they don't really let you eat. They'll say, what if you have to have a C-section? Then we don't want you to have all of that in your stomach, because then you might puke it up when we give you the epidural to do it. And so they steer away from that. We like to encourage moms to eat something that's going to give you nutrition. I mean, don't go, unless you really feel like it, don't go eating some pizza. Have some like honeydew or the honey sticks or some Jello. Something that's light but gives you nourishment and can encourage you to have the energy that you need. Also drinking. We need you to drink. If your body is it about 30% water? I don't even remember what it is, but your body is mainly water, and so is your amniotic fluid. Your baby needs that water, and you need to stay hydrated. And you can drink water or like Gatorade, anything that gives you energy. Coconut water is really good also. Some other things to do, which we will get around to practicing stuff, and Melissa said she wanted us to make sure that we went back and practiced in the birth room just for the fun of it, using all of her tools. But using things like the birthing stools. If you imagine if you sit on the toilet, your legs are going to be in a perfect position, and your pelvis is going to be open and allow your baby to come down, and just sitting up, and I brought them both in here so that we could practice if we wanted, but just allowing your body to do that. If you're always sitting in one of these chairs, it's not allowing the same kind of opening as sitting in a birth stool would. And same with sitting on a ball. You can sit on a ball and it does the same thing. It allows your muscles to open, and you can sit on the ball and roll your hips, to get your baby in a good position, and move different ways, and you can bounce on the ball. Yes.
Do people actually give birth on those stools?
You definitely can.
That's what they're for, or?
That will, you can birth on them, or you could, if you don't want to birth on it, you can always just use it to help
It just opens.
open you.
Okay.
We've used this one in the pools to so that the mom has some counter pressure, like when she's sitting in the pool, that she can sit like this or whatever, and not have to like really stretch out her legs to stop herself from sliding down. You know, it's more just to give her a little bit more room. So that's the main thing that I've seen that one used for. But I mean, it works just like any birth stool. You know, you'll find yourself leaning back and having a couple contractions there, and it works really well. The more that you can be up, then the easier it will be for your baby to come down. And so so using all of the tools that we provide are good counter pressure. Moving, it's really good to get up and move every 30 minutes to an hour. Whether it's actually getting up or just moving from one side of the bed to the other side of the bed, you know, just allowing your body to not stay stationary for too long allows the baby to come down also. Also, just moving from, so let's say you are stationary and we see that the labor's not progressing like we would like to see it, we might suggest that you get up and sit on a stool, or you get up and use the ball. You can lean over the ball. This one's kind of big, but you know, you can lean over the ball like this and let your belly hang and sway your hips, you know? Just so many different things that you can do, and every single one of them is going to help your baby come down and relieve pressure off of your bones, off of your perineum, off of, I mean, unless you don't have a perineum, but you know, just moving as often as you can, and trusting your birth team that we know what we're doing. We've seen it plenty of times, and if we suggest a movement, it's not because we want to be mean to you. And there will be times where you might think, oh, I don't want to move, I like this position. But you might have been in that position for a long time, and so we're just like, hey, let's try to encourage a different position to get your baby, so that your baby's like, oh, I'm not supposed to stay like this. Okay, let me just keep moving my way down. And then I already talked about the oils, and I was going to pass these around, and you guys can smell them. But sometimes just having a smell that comforts you can be very beneficial to helping you to relax. Also, and this is one that I really like to do for people because I've never had a complaint, using peppermint oil in a carrier, lotion or oil or anything like that on the back and the lower belly really helps to relieve any pain that you might feel in your back or belly. This one works awesome. But anyways, I'll pass them around, you guys can smell them. This one's clove. I don't use that one as often, but it can be used the same as the peppermint. Or if, I've seen it work really well for after pains. You know, adding a couple drops to your abdomen really helps with those too, because those can be so much fun.
What do you mean, like when the uterus is going back to its original size?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep, but also something to help with after pains is, so the reason why you get after pains is because there's a buildup of blood and clot and everything in your uterus. And so if you can massage it every hour when you get up to use the restroom, then your after pains will be less, and they won't be as, so they will not last as long, and they will be less in discomfort. Now, first time moms don't seem to experience it as much as subsequent moms, those that have already had a baby, so just preparing you for that. But it's not a bad thing, it's just your body's way of saying, hey, I am working, But you're like, yeah, you're working and you hurt. Just kidding. But so using oil, and these are just ideas. If you can come with your own oils, and Melissa has some other oils, but it's helpful to have a smell that kind of grounds you. It takes you back to, okay, I'm okay. This is my smell. This is what comforts me.
For my, sorry to interrupt. Well, for my first birth, I had like all of these things, like different oils to use for like different stages of labor and all that was just like thrown out the window. But I guess I'm just wondering, I hear a lot about clary sage and evening primrose, and do you guys use those at all?
I've used clary sage before. I used it on her belly today to see if we can get labor going. But clary sage shouldn't always be used. If you use it in early labor, it will actually stall the labor.
Oh.
Yeah, and so you might have experienced that, right?
Well, yeah, the stalling was, I think, from something else, but
Yeah.
the doctor was yelling at me and things just
And
shut down.
frightening you. Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But yeah, I guess that I was just curious about. So you guys do use clary sage sometimes, maybe in
If we have to, I've used it to encourage labor that is imminent. So, like, I'm gonna use Monica because I used it on her today. If her baby really is ready, it will work. But if he's not ready, then it won't work. Just like with everything else, we try not to force a baby to come if the baby's not ready. Your body knows when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, as far as clary sage, I've used it for that. I've also used it if the labor has stalled and it's after about 4 centimeters, and or if there's like a cervical lip, they can do that. There's one particular client that she was at I think it was a 5 for like ever, and I didn't tell her why I was using it, but I just said, here, smell this, and then 5 minutes later they checked her and they're like, you're at an 8. And so it worked really well. It's just it helps you to kind of release, and it sends certain chemical reactors to your brain, which assists too. But I wouldn't use it in early labor.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Oh, and evening primrose oil. Like, how have you heard it be used?
I think to like if you're overdue and you want to like
To induce.
yeah, to self-induce.
Yeah, we've done that. There's certain studies that, and I wouldn't be able to say right now which ones they are because I can't remember the names. But there are certain studies that link the internal use of it to premature rupture of membranes, but that's with extensive use, like the mom taking it every day from like 34 weeks on to prepare her body. It has been shown to do that, but if you're overdue and it's used, I haven't seen it cause any problems there. It just it ripens their cervix, which, do you know what ripen means? It softens it, it prepares it for delivery, because a hard cervix isn't going to allow a baby to come down. We need it to be soft. So I've seen it be used for that as you're overdue, but I wouldn't necessarily use it before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on oils? Okay. And I had remembered something that I didn't write down, so I'm trying. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the movement because it's something that I forgot to bring out. I didn't realize how beneficial it was until I was actually having my 5th baby, and I have 6. I said that right? I have 6. But so with my 5th baby, then before I got pregnant with him, I actually went through a doula training with Laura Lynn Curtis through Hypnobirthing Utah. And it was the very first time that I had heard about getting down on your hands and knees and just, you know, doing this. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try that. And so I tried it in labor. I was at a 5, and then I was like, oh, I want to try it. So I got down, and I immediately regretted it. I was like, oh, I don't want to be here. But my mom gave me the best advice. She said, stay there and do this one. Don't move. And so I did, and when I got back up, I was actually ready to have my baby. My cervix just went right back where it needs to. But the advice that I want to give you is, whatever position you are in, do it, stay there, maybe try a couple contractions there. Don't run away from it, let it come. If you fight the contractions or waves or pressure or whatever you want to call it, I call it contraction because I don't, when I hear that word, then I don't have fear. I just have that's what it is in my mind. So if you tense up and think, oh, that's a bad word, then don't use contraction, use something else. There's nothing wrong with it. But just don't run away. Embrace what your body is going through. Work with your baby and your body. Your baby and body know how to work perfectly together. Babies come out. I know that in the hospital then they might be like, oh, we got to get this baby out. Oh, it's been this amount of time. We've had 4-day labors here. We've had 3-hour labors here. We do every kind of labor, and we work with our moms and make sure that they are comfortable, that they know that this is a natural process, and how to work with your body. So the last thing that I can think of as far as comfort is having the kind of support team that knows how to help you. Having partners that have a job. I'm going to call it a job because I don't know what else to call it, but I've noticed that partners seem to like to be involved somehow, not just standing in the corner twiddling their thumb, but having the partner be able to do something seems to help moms too. Whenever I've seen a mom kind of struggling, I will often try to send the partner over and be like, go whisper in her ears, go give her a kiss, go do something. Oxytocin is what gets released whenever someone that you love is right there, being able to comfort you. It's the same hormone that is made during lovemaking. It's called the lovemaking hormone. So the same hormones that got your baby to be there is it will help you to get your baby out. And so having people that are loving and caring, and you know that they care deeply for you and that they're going to have your best interest at heart, is calming and comfort. It's comforting and it relieves that stress. So those are I hope I didn't miss any. I'm sorry. Let me see. Oh, I did miss urinating often. While you are putting stuff in, we want you to get it out every hour to 2 hours also, because a full bladder and full bowels will keep a baby in. Because if they're there, they got to come out before the baby does. So, and the toilets, not a toilet. Yes, Jocelyn.
Sorry if this is too much for you, but I guess for me, I've had a couple pretty strong contractions already, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to go to the bathroom now. Mm-hmm. And what if, I guess I just have this weird anxiety that I try to go, I think I need to go to the bathroom, but actually the baby's gonna come out. Is that a pretty
It's adorable.
normal thing. I mean, like, I guess you can't. That's just part of the birth process.
It is
Like
part of the
blushing
birth
pretty
process. No, it's okay. I've actually not I had a baby on the toilet. I've caught someone's baby on the toilet before, so it happens. But generally, if the mom is feeling pretty pushy, they start to say that at the peak of the contraction, then they're like, ooh, I feel like I need to push. And if they're feeling that way, then we know you're pretty close. And so if at that point where she's like, during a contraction is when I feel like I need to push, then we typically don't say, then we're going to let you go sit on the toilet. It's generally a, yeah, just do it in the tub.
Okay.
Urine is sterile. And so, and I don't know if all of you guys are planning a water birth, but you know that we offer it. We offer the birthing pools, and if you're having your baby here, then we have the pool, or the birth tub, which we'll go back and look at too, because like I said, Melissa wants us to go over everything that she has here. But yeah, urine is sterile. It's not going to contaminate the water, and chances are you'll have a bowel movement and you won't even know it, because we will just clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you're feeling pushy, we probably would say, yeah, you're not going to go sit on the toilet.
Yeah.
It's not very fun having to deliver a baby on the toilet.
No, probably not.
It's not very sterile.
Yeah.
But, just know that if you do at all feel like you need to go to the bathroom, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty good at reading signs and seeing where mom's at. We can tell pretty good by how she's acting if she's about ready to have a baby or not.
Can
Does
tell
that
the
make
difference.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was looking for in that answer, but I guess it's
Yeah.
like a strange anxiety that I have.
Yeah. Well, and in here, it does go over the different stages of labors and what you might feel. So, like, in active labor, you might be more serious and be like, hey, I'm gonna get this done, and you know, you be quiet, don't talk to me during a contraction, and I don't even want to see your face. You know, you may or may not say those things, but you know, you'll feel more like, okay, I'm doing this, I can do it, and sometimes you might even say, I can't do it. If you're saying, I can't do it, you're probably in transition, which means you're gonna have a baby really soon.
Mm-hmm.
But did I answer you?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't even really a question, so thank you.
Yeah. What time is it? I'm not gonna take up my 2 hours. That's okay though. How do you guys feel about watching a birth video? You want to? Okay. Are you scared?
She looks at me and laughs.
I used to watch for my first one. They always make me cry.
I've been watching more birth videos now.
Yeah.
And like especially like birth home videos to like kind of know what to expect and if it's okay to like we're saying like go scream or like yell at somebody. But yeah, so
Yeah.
okay.
I'm learning a lot.
Sorry, let me skip this ad. So this one isn't one of Melissa's clients. At the end then I'm going to show you a birth that Melissa was at, because I just think it's so cool. But this one goes through all the different movements that the birthing mother went through. It shows her eating, it shows people doing counter pressure for her, you know, it's, yeah. Don't be scared. It's actually really lovely. Sorry. might not be able to hear it, but she's actually making sounds during it. It's just helping to release any pressure that might be there. If you can keep your mouth and your jaw relaxed, it provides a relaxed pelvic floor, and so all of your muscles, your cervix, everything will be limp and loose, and allow baby to come down.
The mailman.
Did she have her knee up to the chest?
What?
Did she have her knee up?
She might have, and that's a move that will often take or do sometimes during the actual pushing phase, just to help open things up more.
What was she doing there with the?
She was using it to pull on while she was pushing. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that
she-
this was her first baby, and like I said, they tend to take a little bit longer sometimes. So. But worth it. Worth it.
I get to love choose forever. I'm yours forever. I get to love you. I get to love you. The way you love, it changes who I am. I am undone. Nothing God wants again. Oh, I can't believe it's true sometimes. Oh, I can't believe it's true. I get to love you. It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you.
No.
No. Get out of my house.
The bulk of them pulled up just in cars, not too long before they walked in. But this is actually at a birthing center.
Okay.
I get to love
So how long was her labor in total?
I think it was just a couple hours. They kept showing the clock.
Yeah, I didn't really see where it started, but
And then yeah, I love that it goes over some of the things that we do. We test the reflexes. We check everything. We even